train terminates here. Dieser Zug endet hier.
Gleis 7 Anfahrt FLX 30 nach Aachen.
When I got this apartment, I definitely didn't pay attention to how much construction was going on around it. So apologies if you can hear a lot of construction sounds. So the day finally came and off to Cologne we went.
Guten Morgen, herzlich willkommen im Flug zu einer Linie 30 auf der Fahrt nach Aachen Hauptbahnhof. Mit Zuschneid unter anderem Hannover, Dortmund und Köln Hauptbahnhof.
If you watched my previous vlog, you know that the reason we had to do this entire trip mania is because I had to transport 4 of my cats from Singapore to Bulgaria. So that was kind of what had to happen. Cologne was sehr schön. I think I've only been there once or twice, but when I was very, very little, so I don't really remember much of it. Christian's cousin actually lives in Cologne, so he was able to show us around quite a few places, and honestly, it was very, very beautiful. First thing is first. We had to get food, so we went and grabbed some vegan burgers. They were pretty good, actually. They weren't too heavy, and it was a smaller portion, so you felt full, but a good kind of full. I really liked it. It was a falafel burger that I had. Then afterwards, we went and explored the city a little bit. We went to, of course, the cathedral. I mean, it's probably the #1 place you should go to if you go to Cologne, because it's like literally just there staring at you, and you gotta check it out.
Chin up, babe, tomorrow's a new year, little darling. All lane sign and all the other cheers. In the moment feels just like you're here, little darling. Write your resolutions without fear, or leave them on the floor. Go and open a new door. Just keep blindly facing forward. Sun's the hottest at its core, and I warned you I get bored. There's too much to be explored, things that we cannot ignore.
So there is this orchestra in Cologne, and basically when they were building it once upon a time, they built it wrong. Basically, they didn't build it very soundproof, so anything that goes on above ground can be heard downstairs whilst they're performing. So because of this unfortunate mistake, they need to have guards that stand above this ground at certain hours of the day to make sure no one walks or cycles or whatever on this piece of land until they are performing, which is mad when you think about it. One mistake caused so many issues for years and years and years.
Big mistake.
Of course, I had to go and get myself a typical Kölsch beer. Don't know if I said that right, but I had to have one.
Okay.
Oh, it's so light, the glass.
Oh, it's nothing. Prost.
It's quite nice, you know. It's very light.
It's right.
I like the size as well. Like, it's good for me. It's enough.
Already.
Oh my goodness. I'll take mine slow. So they have this in most pubs, and what's really interesting is that it basically just keeps coming. The rounds, they just keep coming. If you don't put your coaster on top of your beer, they will keep giving you beers. As soon as you have a little bit left in your glass, they'll be like, oh, she's done, let's give her another one. And they will keep giving you beers unless your coaster is on your glass to signify you don't want any more beer. Don't go thinking that it's some sort of like on the house beer. No, 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 you're paying for every single one of those beers. So at the end, you will be hit with a big fat check that will say you had 25 beers. And that might seem crazy, but they're literally like 0.2 milliliters. So it's possible. So just be careful. Get that coaster ready.
Ready?
Yeah. We also went to a winery, or like more a wine cellar that his cousin took us to. He loves wine, so he wanted to show us this really cool place that he said is not very touristy and actually a really cool place to see if you are into alcohol, wine, champagne, everything like that. So that was pretty interesting. Obviously we couldn't buy anything because we only had hand luggage on us, so kinda liquids. I also learned that there's such a thing as Brot und Butter wine, which is basically a bread and butter wine. It's considered the cheaper wines, the ones you would have with bread and butter. And then obviously you have your high class wines that are pretty damn expensive, and the ridiculously expensive champagnes as well, which I'm not going near, but they're there for whoever wants them.
So what did I miss? California girl, Oregon bliss. Alright.
It's our last night here in Bulgaria. The cats are, I want to say getting along, but I'm going to say they'll be getting along because it's still not quite there. I mean, they're doing well, but obviously one of them was already living here beforehand and it's his territory, so he's not loving it. The other four are getting used to it very, very quickly and very well, thankfully, but it's not making the fifth cat very happy because he's like, yo, this is my home. You just came in here and you're stealing all of my sleeping places. So I totally get him, but I'm glad the others are doing well. Anyway, tomorrow we are going back to Berlin. I have to wash my hair though because it is absolutely the greasiest thing out there. I'll probably just put it in braids and let my natural hair do the work. So I'm not usually usually a weirdo that gets excited about these kind of things, but someone pooped. I know that mothers get excited when their babies poop when they haven't in a while. My best friend has a baby. I remember he was very constipated for a few days and he was in pain and we really hated seeing him like that. And then I told her, like, text me when he poops. And one day he pooped and she got very excited about it, and so did I. So my cats are like my babies. I'm so excited for them when they're doing well. And I think because of the travel and the stress, they've actually been a little bit not so great stomach-wise and pooping-wise. They're a little bit constipated because of the stress maybe, and because of not regularly going to the toilet for over 24 hours. And I just came into the bathroom now and I saw poop and I am so freaking happy. And I totally mean poop in their actual poop area. They are very well-trained, well-behaved cats and they just know where to go. Hair is washed and braided. I've popped it into braids because otherwise I will literally be Hagrid, and I mean I'm still gonna be Hagrid, but I'll be like a more tamed version of Hagrid, so this really helps me. You'll see what I mean tomorrow. Yeah, it's bedtime. Sleepy time? Mm-hmm. One final night with the kitties. Wow, mixy. Ooh, fishy. Max, du Essen. And?
Ich habe keinen Hunger.
So we are currently at the airport. The weather is not looking too promising. I mean, it's really snowing. Like, it's really snowing. At first it said that our flight is cancelled to Berlin and we were shook, but it turns out there's a flight going to Berlin and a flight going to Frankfurt, and both were pretty empty, so they've just kind of combined them into one. So it's stopping over in Berlin and then going onwards to Frankfurt. So thankfully we're flying, but I don't know if I'm so thankful because it's kind of freaking me out how bad the weather is. And I wouldn't mind spending a few more days with the kitties. But let's see. Fingers crossed it all goes well. I'm so glad that everything is over. Everything went well. I'm just genuinely so happy, and I think the kitties will start getting along more and more. Obviously, it's a big shock for Ocho, who is the cat that was already in my mom's home. He's just been introduced to 4 new cats. Not 1, 4. So he's going to need a lot of time to get used to them, but I'm sure they will be friends one day because I think his life was kind of boring beforehand. I mean, it was chill, but it was boring. Now there's excitement. We like that. But they're all healthy. They seemed happy and comfortable, so that's all that matters, and I'm just glad to know that that's one thing off of my chest. Ich bin fertig. Means I'm finished, right? Ich weiß nicht, aber vielleicht.
Chin up, babe, tomorrow's a new year, little darling. All lane sign and all the other cheers. In the moment feels just like you're here.